I'm gonna give you an entire day's worth of a nutrition plan for a world-class weightlifter, and we're gonna start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested in becoming a better athlete, you want to be more explosive, you want to get stronger, you want to dominate your opponents, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you become a champion. So we're going to dive deep into world bronze medalist Hayley Reichardt's nutrition plan for an entire day. And we've got to start to think about, she is a weightlifter. She's an Olympic weightlifter. She weighs about 50 to 51 kilos. So she's only about 110 pounds, 112 pounds. And she cuts down to the 49K weight class. And so what I wanted to provide for you is an actual peek inside her whole nutrition plan. You can see how a world-class female slowly cuts that weight down. But before we get into that, we've got to think about what is the sport of weightlifting. We've got to think about the snatch, the clean and jerk, and we also have to think about those strength movements that go into developing the snatch and the clean and jerk. So we know right off the bat, there's going to be the competitive movements of the snatch, the clean and jerk. We know that squats, front squats, snatch pull, clean pull, we know that all those movements are going to be utilized to improve Hayley's performance in the snatch and in the clean and jerk. And on top of that, we also know there's gonna be a lot of accessory work. There's gonna be 2 to 3 days of heavier accessory work to try and maintain joint integrity, to try and maintain blood flow to certain areas that might be handling a lot of inflammation. And then finally, we also know that there's a lot of technical work that goes into the sport of Olympic weightlifting. Hayley specifically trains twice a day, 3 days a week. So she's getting 9 training sessions in. So that's got to be factored into the entire equation when we're talking about her nutrition. We also have to think about what kind of stress is she going to be under when she's working out. We know that she's going to be utilizing a ton of glycogen. We know that her body's going to need a whole bunch of protein to help her recover. We also know that women tend to do a little bit better when they're having a little bit higher fat content inside of their diet. So all of these things have to come into play when we're figuring out how are we going to get Hayley to cut from 51 and a half kilos down to that 49K weight class. Then we've got to start to think. She's training 9 sessions a week. So we've got to factor in there's 2-3 days a week that she's training twice a day. So we've got to factor that in for her recovery. We've also got to think, okay, if we can cut a little bit further out and just slowly decrease her calories, now we can start to really factor in and see how she adapts to the training stress and if she feels a difference at all. We also need to factor in what happens during her menstrual cycle. Does she gain weight? Does she lose weight? Does she feel fine? Does she feel sluggish or not? And typically all these things have to be factored in when we're thinking about nutrition. And that leads us to those 4 key bulleted points. And those 4 key bulleted points we've got to factor in right away. Hayley is going to be in a caloric deficit. So if we can look at the week from the perspective of she's going to train 6 days a week, then on top of that, there's going to be 3 days that she's training twice a day. So now on that weekend, there's going to be 1 day where we might try and cut a little bit more because she's not active. And then during the week, she might have a little bit higher calories on those days that she's training twice a day. That's going to help her feel better. That's going to help her have a lot of energy, because that's another factor, is that we need to make sure she has good mental focus, good energy when she's getting into the gym, especially when she's training in the morning sessions, so that we can get that really good technical work to continue to make technical gains, so she can hit those big snatches over 80 kilos, creeping up on 85 kilos. She can hit those big clean and jerks over 100 kilos, creeping up on 105, 106 kilos. All of these things have to be factored in. So we know right off the bat, we have to be in a caloric deficit. We know that we're gonna be cutting a little bit, so 200-300 calories a day, 6 to 7 weeks out from a major competition. We know that her body is going to need a high protein diet to try and recover from all the resistance training that we're doing. There's gonna be a lot of lifting. There's a lot of snatching. There's a lot of clean and jerks. There's a lot of front squats. There's a lot of back squats. There's a lot of pulls. A lot of lifts that put a lot of stress on the body. And if we can think of high quality protein in the form of steak, fish, chicken, whey protein, all of these things come into play, and how are we going to time that around her training sessions? We also know women do typically feel better with a little bit higher fat relative to their male counterparts. So Hayley will do really well when she's eating closer to 30% of her diet from fat. And we've got to think, where's she getting that fat from? We've got to make sure that a lot of that fat might be coming from coconut oil. It might be coming from meat, so some saturated fat, some butter in there. And those are very important aspects. We know she's going to be handling a lot of inflammation from training. So we want to avoid things like polyunsaturated fatty acids. We don't want to be consuming soybean oil, corn oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil. All of these types of oils can increase inflammation. So we want her to get fat, but we want it to be the right type of fat. And then finally, we know that carbs are pivotal for her to feel really good, for her to have good energy. So we've got to factor in during the week, during a day, how many carbs is she going to have when she's about an hour out from training? How many carbs is she going to have with her post-workout meal about an hour and a half after her workout session? And all of these things start to come into play. And that's why it can be very, very difficult. All of this stuff can be really, really challenging to put together. All of these things can be frustrating as coaches. It can be frustrating and overwhelming as athletes. And that's why we put together Hayley's entire nutritional experience for an entire day. You can download that for free today by clicking on the link down in the profile, and you can dig deep into what Hayley does on a daily basis when she's in that caloric deficit, when she's trying to cut down to 49 kilos. It is available for you today for free, and it's going to help you peek inside. Okay, what does someone who is a world-class athlete need to continue to make progress, to continue to be one of the best in the world? How are they actually cutting calories if they're training 9 sessions a week? Where are they getting their protein from? Where is Hayley getting her protein from? What type of fat? And finally, what kind of carbs is she eating? So you can click on that link down below. You can download Hayley and our NFL linebackers' entire nutrition plan today for free. If you want more information about nutrition-based training, you can head over to garagestrength.com and pick up one of our nutritional programs. If you want more information about nutrition, you can click on this video right here. Until next time, guys, peace.